Chapter 2. The Yacht and the Siren. Tampa's late afternoon sun shimmered across the bay, painting the water in streaks of copper and gold. As Lucas steered the rented SUV into the private marina, Grace leaned forward in the passenger seat, eyes widening. "You bought that?" she asked, pointing through the windshield at a gleaming white yacht moored near the edge of the dock. Its sleek frame gleamed under the sun, the kind of vessel that turned heads even in a marina full of millionaires. Lucas grinned. "Figured if we're going to chase sunken treasure, we might as well do it in style." Irene whistled from the back seat. "You weren't kidding when you said this would be more comfortable than the desert." "Damn, Lucas." They parked and stepped out, duffel bags slung over their shoulders. A man in a crisp blue polo stepped forward to greet them, nodding politely. "Mr. Graves? The Argo is prepped and ready. The dive gear's on board and your instructor should arrive shortly." Lucas thanked him and led the way down the dock. The Argo was longer than they expected. At least 80 feet of polished fiberglass, steel, and teak. As they walked up the gangplank, Grace let her fingers trail along the polished railing. "It's beautiful," she said, her voice quieter now, touched by awe. The yacht was more than just beautiful. It was fully outfitted for a long-term expedition. State-of-the-art sonar, reinforced dive cages, pressurized tanks, underwater drones, and even a small lab space in the lower deck. But it wasn't just practical. The main living quarters boasted plush seating, a marble-topped galley, a master bedroom with panoramic ocean views, and a king-sized bed big enough for 3. They explored the decks together, laughter echoing off the railings as Irene flopped into a lounge chair with a satisfied sigh. "I could get used to this," she said, sunglasses already on. Lucas stepped into the cabin and returned with a bottle of champagne and 3 glasses. "To our next treasure," he said, uncorking it with a pop. They toasted on the deck beneath the sprawling Florida sky, the salt breeze tousling their hair. Just as they finished, a smaller motorboat approached, pulling up beside the yacht with a quiet hum. A slim woman in a wetsuit climbed up with practiced ease. She pulled off her dive hood, letting out a cascade of sun-bleached curls. Her tan face was all sharp cheekbones and easy confidence. She looked to be in her late 20s. "You must be the famous trio," she said with a smile. "I'm Sky. Lucas arranged for me to give you all your diving certifications and a few specialty lessons. Free diving, search grid patterns, cave safety. All the fun stuff." Grace gave her a polite nod. Irene, always blunt, narrowed her eyes. "You look like a Sports Illustrated model with an oxygen tank." Sky laughed easily. "I used to do catalog shoots, actually. But I've been diving since I was 15. Taught Navy rescue swimmers, and I don't tolerate sloppy form." Lucas raised a hand before any snide remarks could fly. "She comes highly recommended. And we need to be ready. There are sinkholes, underwater caverns, possible wreck debris. It's not just swimming in clear pools." Grace stepped in, keeping the mood light. "Then we better listen to our mermaid." Sky tossed them each a training manual. "First lessons tomorrow at dawn. I suggest getting a good night's sleep. We'll start in open water, then move into the deeper drop zones." After Sky left to prepare her gear on a nearby dive boat, the trio moved inside, their gear tucked away in the yacht's storage compartments. Lucas opened up the digital charts in the navigation cabin. "The water near the dry Tortugas is full of wrecks, some mapped, some not. The currents make excavation difficult, and storms have shifted the seabed over the centuries. But there's a gap in sonar records about 60 miles off the coast. That's where I want to start. This is our target zone," he said, highlighting a swath of sea northwest of the dry Tortugas. "These waters are treacherous. Storms, reefs, currents. That's why no one's fully explored the site." "What exactly are we looking for again?" Grace asked. Lucas tapped a blinking red marker, a 17th century Spanish galleon called the Santa Reina. According to records, she left Cartagena with a hold full of gold chalices, gemstones, and tribute for the crown. She never made it to Spain. The Santarena was caught in a hurricane near Florida's coast and went down fast. Most records say she sank in deep water before any distress signal reached Havana. No survivors, no salvage, nothing. Until now, Grace said, her voice low. Lucas flipped open a leather-bound journal beside the chart. Inside were pages of handwritten entries and copied letters from Spanish naval archives. This came from a Cuban historian I corresponded with last year, he said. He found references to a reef chain locals once called La Garganta de Dios, the throat of God. The last known position of the Santarena was just outside that area. And that's where we're heading? Irene asked. Lucas nodded. It's dangerous. Unmapped caverns, wreckage, and deep-water trenches. But it's the best lead we've got. A quiet settled between them. It wasn't just another tale anymore. It was a puzzle, and they had a real chance to solve it. That evening, they cooked dinner on the yacht's grill and ate under the stars. They wore nothing but robes and smiles, their laughter echoing off the water. Afterward, they curled up in the giant bed, limbs tangled together, the rocking of the boat beneath them a lullaby from the sea. Later, Grace whispered into the dark, I love this life. I love you both. Lucas kissed her bare shoulder. Irene wrapped her arms around them both. Then let's never stop living it. And outside, the sea rolled gently on, keeping its secrets. For now.